Hello Total Wargamers, my name is Deacon and welcome to a mod overview of Rule Middle Earth, as I named it. And a little bit about the history in the background. This is a mod I created back in early 2016 because I wanted to play a hot seat campaign by myself, a single player. And at the time I've tried different mods, and the one that got closest was Mars 1.7, if I recall correctly. But then there was a problem that generals weren't aging properly, and I only found out after playing 70 turns or so into an 8 faction controlled campaign series. That was kind of a bummer, and I felt, okay, this is not going to be it. I'm going to try and fix that. And I went to the forums, and well, it seemed like pretty difficult just to get hot seat working alongside with aging generals, and then even correct proceeds of seasons and game years and game turns. And in the end I managed to create part of the script that dictates these things to get it to work with generals aging, seasons proceeding as normal, and also the year count and game turns being synchronized. So that works in this version when you play with 2 factions. So and then you have like 6 turns per year, generals age, and it works. If you were to play like 4 or 8 factions or whatever in between, an uneven number would definitely screw up the aging process and so on. And for the rest, with even numbers of factions controlled, it should be possible to tweak the numbers and make everything work as well. But honestly, I haven't tried. Also, it's a long time ago that I worked on it, and only recently did I pick this up. Reason why being, I created the mod on a laptop that I had before. There was a gaming laptop by Asus, doesn't matter, but and then I went on to do a desktop, and I have a cloud server here at home. I put my all my files, my mod files on the cloud server, and then when I had my desktop and wanted to port them back to my hard drives on the new desktop, they wouldn't copy and paste properly. And I tried many times, and there would be hiccups and failures and errors and so on. So I knew that I had my file safely on my cloud server, but I just didn't have the game anymore. So I left it there and didn't really do anything with it until early 2018. In March 2017 I broke my leg, and a whole process of recovery started that I'm still in the middle of, by the way. So and I also started a YouTube channel. So at some point I thought, after playing a number of Third Age Divide and Conquer campaigns, I thought, let's check if I can get my own mod back alive. And I started copying many files, file by file, to get them all ported over, and ultimately I got the game complete again, and it worked. And that was a lot of work. Also, the modding that I did has taken me, I think, roughly 3 months time, many hours a week, just to figure things out, because I was totally new to modding, and I only started it because I wanted to play hot seat with aging generals. I've been a Total War veteran since Shogun 1, and played a ton of that, and then Medieval Total War, I played it even more. In Third Age I have over 2,000 hours on the clock now in Steam, but that is after the merge of the Kingdoms launcher with the Medieval 2 launcher. They used to be separate, and I think, if I recall correctly, there were also over 1,000 hours before that merger, so probably 3,000 hours in the game. It's easily my most favorite Total War game, and hence my willingness to invest that many hours into it. So then, hot seat works, aging, seasons, turns. And then after I had worked on that, I thought, okay, let's see if I can get a couple of my favorites into my game and make it run. So I started doing a lot of other things as well that I will try and demonstrate as we go. So first, concerning scripts, the next air ancillary is in here, so you can transfer that ancillary if you want to set your air manually. There are no turn 1 auto expansions, and that makes a difference if you're trying, for example, as Dale, to get a hold of what is now Baron's Carrock.
Your attention is an honor.
Because otherwise there would be a scripted assault by the Wood Elves that would sometimes succeed and sometimes not. Another one is Dol Vorn of the High Elves. It would typically go to the High Elves, and no, now it does no longer, so you can take them as Eriador. And it did, by the way, the auto expansions didn't crash the hot seat, but it did change things, give regions to factions that I really didn't want them to have, so that's why I took it out. Then there is the additional unit script for Rohan, the Dwarves, Dale and Eriador that is still in here. Aragorn still has his RPG script of the hero that goes and reforges Andril. There's the reforging of honor still, although there's a difference now that many of the Dunedain units and also the Brelandish units port over to the Kingdom of Honor. There's also still the reforging the Elven Kingdoms for the High Elves and the Wood Elves. The ring script is still in here, and for the rest there are no other scripts. That means there are currently also no invasions, and I didn't try. I'm beta testing it now, so there's a campaign running with Dale and Free Peoples of Eriador that I've pre-recorded over 40 episodes of. And usually my own campaigns I wait for Sauron to get the ring and kill him, because I never want to taint any of my good guys with the bearings of the ring and all what it does to your character. So I really wanted to have a lot of characters in here that allow you to kind of roleplay the game. Also, I hated when they would develop bad traits for just sitting in a town as a governor. So I cut out all the developments of the bad traits. So no good faction will ever be a drunkard or whatever, lazy, slothful and so on. So there's a bunch of changes as well. What I did though is I changed many of the names of towns. So if we start here, Lake Town, which used to be Esgaroth, is now appropriately called Lake Town. And I took kind of the perspective of the Northmen, how they would name certain regions from their culture. So no more elven names for the Mirkwood regions, as you'll see. So the second is Grasgard, which are the towns that they start with, along with Riverrun. And there were a couple of names in Third Age, the base game, that I like better. So that's where some come from. Some come from maps that, if you study Lord of the Rings lore maps, you'll find certain names of rivers and regions. So I try to rename them lawfully. I call this the Khaldun Vale, this being the River Khaldun. Here's the River Redwater, hence this the Redwater Bay. This is Ara, Dorwinion, O'Donovan, which is a name that I really love, and here is a castle called the Mountains of Dorwinion. To keep these three kind of tied together in Dorwinion culture, although what I love about this is what you can see here. There's a load of rebel factions that you can take control of. And that's one of the things that I used to regret about Divide and Conquer, is that I couldn't have Dorwinion playing as Dale. I've introduced, and I'll show you later, there's a couple of new AOR units, but one of them is Dorwinion Retainers that spring from here. You can now train them when you conquer this as Dale. And well, Dale was my first favorite faction when I came to the game. And I just wanted to be able to sort of recreate former Ravanian, and also have the Ravanian units, and most particularly include the Dorminian lands in there. And obviously I also never declare war on good factions, so if there would be a Dorminian faction in here that is on the side of good, I would basically never possess those lands, and that to me felt as a loss. And to many people, the early on game expansion, taking all those rebel settlements, can feel like a drag, but I very much like to have the choice either to rush the campaign and go for a land grab and settle your borders where you want them, or to just turtle in your starting settlements and have other people take them to become basically a very big threat, which is also the reason why I've put a fort in here, to make this defensible for Dale if they were to turtle and not give the rest of the and you know, leave room basically to take the rest of these lands. Now in terms of naming, this is now called Redwater Bay, Caldron Vale, Logatha Vuld, which is the larger region in the area, but in this case it's only this settlement. I've called this the Orocarni Foothills, imagining that the hills where the Orocarni stem from would be over here at the east, and this village would be at the foot of those hills, to kind of like tie in to the Orocarni lore that is out there. But however, I never intend for the dwarves to have it, because I usually only go for mountainous areas with the dwarves. So they would go all the way to Carndum, and from Gundabad down south up until maybe Isengard or Moria. And of course in this version there's still Southern Eredlune with Thornshalls in here, and Busradum and Fahamgatol over there. Now obviously when the AI does control these factions, it poses a problem to them, because they cannot properly manage the pathing of armies and units with strategic purposes. So often they will just stand around, not do much. Unless they make contact with Rune, for example, they will go head to head, or with Misty Mountain Orcs. But other than that, they kind of struggle. I often give them regions, and I often just transport a stack and put it, for example, in Dane's Hall, so they have a garrison there and they would lose it if they are struggling. That's just what I do. Well then, in other terms of renaming, I've gone further down south. This is still Ventirion, but this is now called Roman, Califar, Mistrand, and Lest has become Gadrot, which is kind of, it hints of the Ravanian names for the Ravanian Gadrots. Likewise, this city is now called Ivothida, and this is the Ravanian Plains. Carvarad still being Carvarad, this now is called Rovanosd. Here's Lonsdale, and there you go. Further down south, I've touched upon the Wainrider Steppes, because in the perception of Dale, this would be an area where the Wainriders would stem from, and that is the last of the runic settlements alongside this. This is the old rune east-west road, so the old rune road here. And that basically settles it for this area of the map. So the rest of these maps in Khand and Harad and Mordor are untouched upon. Now this is called Dagorlad, along with Malgalad, Thoronberg, Valesburg and Tirithoron, which are names that are in the lore. You'll see in various mods, but not usually combined in this way, but I have. Now Dol Guldur, I always rename it Amon Lank whenever I take it with any of the good guys. This is now called Greenwood Castle. This is the Narrows of Mirkwood, Langflod Vale, Greenwood the Great, Woodsman's Hold, the Old Forest Road, the New Forest Road, Mirkwood Mountains, Grey Foothills Road. Here's Greylin. This is Dane's Halls. This one is called Langwell. The Anduin Vale, the Glennon Marshes, and Dimril's Dale. So the Vale settlements are, and this is by the way now Beorn's Carrock, the Carrock being over here, and there's pertaining to Beorn, who has been added to Dale by the way. So with the idea of the Battle of the Five Armies, which preceded this time span, Beorn did choose side for Dale and the Dwarves and the Woodland Realm. So here he is on the side of Dale, just to spice that up a little. And it gives Dale an opportunity to hire some mercenaries here, elves and Beornings over here, and take this army and start expansion into the Anduin Vale and kind of take that for themselves. Because it always surprised me that the Athala Rangers were an AOR unit for the Vale, but the settlements could never develop up until the degree where you could actually recruit them. So now the max tier of all these settlements are such that you can upgrade them to the tier, which is tier 3 of a practice range, so that you can actually recruit Athala Rangers in here. It takes an awful lot of time to grow them though, so it'll be very long before you get there. Also, Dale can potentially go for the Old Forest Road and try and take parts of Mirkwood, because Athala Rangers are also recruitable over there. Now, to continue on map name changes, this here is still called Isengard, so that's no surprise. This is called the Westfold, and this the Gap of Rohan, which is not technically a settlement names, but it does. I like to have the name the Westfold in here in the game. That's basically why. I did like the Entwade. This is called Treebeard's Hill and Fangorn Forest. This is called the Waldberg, which I think is perhaps unchanged. However, Limelight, I believe, is a change from the name it had before on this particular map. Now here is Hills of Dunland. This is now called Eregion. And Dervath, Bragnas being unchanged, but this, it used to be Gind, or Gund, is now Old Pukelland. Anulond unchanged, alongside Angir, Balorn, Lond Angren and Londare, but this is now called Talath Enethin, Talsir, Keiril, Swanfleet, which is the name of the area here, and Tarbod. So no more Tarbod in two halves. This is Swanfleet, that is Tarbod. This is called Thalion. Argond, as you may know, this is the former kingdom of Saralain, and I've named this settlement after that, being Saralain. Aethir Baranduin. Here is Gerithlin, which is a former stronghold of Cardolan, and I thought it would be nice to have an actual place called after it on the campaign map. And if you have had a look at Third Age Reforged, for example, which I haven't installed yet, but I did see some YouTube videos, there's actually units named after Gerithlin as well. Here is Alimir, which is one of the names from earlier mods that I did like. This used to have a different name, but I renamed it into Alimir just to have it in there. Now, Sarnford, Sackville, Tugborough, Michel, Delving, Deep Ellu, Bucklebury and Hobbiton are the same as you know, but this is now called the Cardolan Downs, with obviously the Barrow Downs being outside of there, which is, well, a combination of names that would fit. Fornost, simply called Fornost. The Rudauer Lowlands, more typical of a region alongside the Etten Moors. This is called Horwell, after the river that's alongside there, and this is an Egladil. Now, these two have been renamed Low Pass and High Pass. This is obviously Goblin Town. And this, the Glen Pass. And Moria and Hollingate are, as you probably know, Mount Gundabad is over here. This is now Coldfells, and here is Mount Graham and Carn Doom. If you've ever played Lord of the Rings online, then this is the location of Esteldin. If you go, it would have been slightly further down south actually, but but anyway, it was a nice way to slip that in there. And here it is. Athilin used to be here, Barketta used to be here, but Hills of Evendim, I just love the Evendim name, so it had to be in here. So Barketta has moved up here, Athilin is now here, and Foroshel obviously also has to be in there. Much more well known to be in this region than names that have otherwise been used. This is called Talath Mule, and here the Aradloon Foothills, This is called Nenuil, after Lake Nenuil, which I think is a sweet name. I just had to have it in here. This is Lunalaith, otherwise also called Perth and Loon, but Lunalaith is just sweet to me, along with the Lunaland Vales. Now here is Elosterion, after the towers of Elosterion. You will also see it as Under Towers, but I just wanted to have the name Elosterion in there, so I sacrificed Under Towers for this one. Midland, Lord, Lond Artharan, Harland and Forlond, as before. Also Karas, Orotselk and Dolvorn as before. Gobel Orod is in here, and Faham Gathol, Buzra Doom still there, and then Lond Nirnaith, which hardly ever gets taken, and Erelond hardly ever gets taken. But I kind of like the idea of having those islands out there with the opportunity to go there and settle. For example, to reclaim this with Gondor is something I like to do, and to reclaim this with the High Elves. It says Rebel Village Bandits, but it actually starts out with quite a bit of Dwarven culture. However, the settlements here are elves, and also in the lore this is one of the last places where elves persisted, so should actually have elven culture, something perhaps to address. Anyway, I think we've seen most of the name changes on the map, so let's take a look at the strategy map model, starting out with Gondor. Now here is Stuart Denethor with this strategy map model, and can't show Boromir and Faramir right now because they are hidden in forests and ambushing, and I have toggled the Fog of War, but we're in the turn of the Woodland Realm, so that's not gonna work. This is the quest for a hero, Aragorn's RPG, that's still in here. That's gonna cripple a number of demonstrations that I wanted to do. This is your regular captain that appears much like your regular general. However, we have Forlong here, who has a new portrait now. He doesn't look fat anymore, and he comes with Knights of Edlos as bodyguard with the winged helmets. Denethor comes with Boromir's company, which is basically a cavalry unit, same as Boromir has in this case. And Faramir comes with rangers. Boromir. I may pass some turns later and try and show that. So here is Orodreth of Pelagi coming with his own unique model. Here we have Dervin. He comes with Pelargir Scouts. I tried to give every model its own portrait, and so the portraits are fixed, and also the unit types are fixed, and they vary throughout the different generals. He has a regular bodyguard. This is Istord of Ethring. Looks like this. Comes with Knights of Gondor, which is not the regular bodyguard. Dervarin has this awesome picture, comes with a general bodyguard. Angborn of Callambel also has a general's bodyguard. Over here we have Durlin coming with Blackroot Vale Archers, because he's actually the son of Dunhir the Tall, who also comes with Blackroot Vale Archers as a unit. Then Imrahil comes obviously with Swan Knights, and also has the model of a Dolameroth Lord. What else is there? We have Herlun of Pinath Gelin with also the winged helmet as a strategy model, and the green cape. He has a unit of winged swordsmen. So they're in the game, and they're also you get them right from the get-go, not with the intention to all toss them into one heap and steamroll the map, but just to spice things up and add some flavor to the campaign. I will show the units on the battle map as well in second half of this video, but let's move on with Eomer over here, who has his own unique strategy map model. Here is Lord Theodred, who appears like this, and this is your regular captain. Now here is Theoden. Nope. Here's Theoden. There you go. There he is. He comes with Theoden's regiment, and your regular general has Rohan Bodyguards. Let's see. Now I didn't really touch upon Rohan. So what the things that I've really changed is Gondor, the High Elves, Eriador, Dale. That's basically what I put most of my efforts in to spice up the campaign a little bit. And also unit cards. Thing is, a lot of the time you're looking at strategy map models and unit cards. So if they don't look attractive, that basically is quite a big thing. So I made it my my purpose to make that look attractive, because you spend more time on the campaign map than on the battle map. Now Gamling is in here. We have Leofara of Derwas. Over here there is this Theodred. Where is he? Here, I think.
There is healthy respect.
Oh, he's in the forest. There's a guy who looks like Hama, but I noticed he isn't named Hama, so I might actually change that later. Now the evil factions I don't really care about. I never play them anyway, so they are basically the same as they were in the MOS version that I started out modding with. Here is Aragorn with his own unique strategy map model. And here we have a diplomat who looks like a ranger called Bregian.
I can greet you, but not serve you, Lord. Do you seek an audience with us?
Here we have Barlaam Butterbear, who starts out in Bree and comes on the battle map like a merchant fellow.
Neither your concern, nor
and here's your regular captain. Here's Gandalf. Oh, and behind there is which I didn't realize it would be invisible, but here's Aragorn's heir in the forest there. Now all the hobbits come out with their own strategy map model as well. So here we have Sam.
in peace, noble one.
Here is Merry.
We have no quarrel with you.
Here is Frodo.
I am a warrior, not
And
an
then here
emissary, my
is
lord.
Pippin. As you see, they all have their own unique colors, and I just wanted to have 4 unique hobbits on the strategy map. There is the Grey Company captains. One of them is Malor, the other is Belek, who have
There
the
is
same
healthy respect
unique
between us, my
model.
lord.
Here is Eldakar. We have Hervikil, and here's Halbarad. So they are the ones that get that model, and none others do. Even Eldarion looks like a ranger. So that I think deals with all the models for Eriador. Now here is Gloin, who looks like
Bless you,
this
noble
Gloin.
ally. 'Tis an honor.
And which is the generic general's model for the dwarves. Now here we have Glorfindel. Here we have Círdan, who comes with another
I am a
portrait,
warrior, not
which
an
I like
emissary, my
more
lord.
than the one used in many other occasions. Here is Elra here at Forlond with a purple like cloak and so on. And this is
There is healthy
Arandorion,
respect between us, my lord.
who looks silver-like, which is the standard general's look, by the way. And then here is Eladan.
I am a warrior, not an emissary, my lord.
Now, of course, in Imladris there is Elrond, and this is your regular captain. And here I've added Gwyndor
There is healthy respect
as a special character
between us, my
with
lord.
the gold armor. And he comes with a special
I am a
unit as
warrior,
well, the
not
Eldarin
an
Ray
emissary,
Lancers,
my
right
lord.
from the get-go. What did I give
There
Círdan?
is healthy respect
Eldarin Ray
between us, my
Nobles. And Eldir and
I am a
Eladon
warrior,
come with the same
not
type
an
of unit, which
emissary,
is
my
Imladris Riders, a ranged cavalry unit. Now here is Gimli, who has his own unique model on the map as well. But for the rest, all the dwarves pretty much look alike. Here's your regular captain, and this is the regular generals. This is actually King Dane, your
Glory to
faction
both
leader,
our people.
and here is Thorin, the faction heir, but they look precisely the same, which is something I might change in the future. I just haven't given the dwarves any love in this mod thus far. Also, I don't want to say I was finished with it. It just changing computers parked my work right on the spot there. Now this is your regular general for Dale. Comes this is Harfast. He comes with Bardian Marksman. Hence the portrait. I try to make it work with the kind of unit. This is your King Bard. He comes with Dale Swordmasters. Your heir is Lord Bane, and he has this portrait. Comes with Athala Rangers. There was some Athala Rangers in the game anyway at the game start, so not OP. This is your regular captain. Now Hawin of Riverrun comes with earls on foot, and he actually does look like an earl also. My fantasy of an earl without his armor donned on. Here's Athel here, who comes with Barding Herd, and then I think also some XP upgrades. So he's very tough, especially in the early game. And as is Vidicid of Ara, looks like this, and comes with mounted earls. And he is a beast, to be honest. So early on, this one you can send him over on a crusade against Rune. He can go to Dol Guldur, and they can pretty much deal with what the game throws at you. So there's no need to, of course, unless you lose him. There's always a way to lose your generals, but they are a force to be reckoned with. Can't show now, but there's some Athala Rangers longbowmen in this fort over here. So you can either sit here and turtle, you can take Redwater Bay and turtle, or go all out and just grab all the lands you want. Outfall Castle does not go to the dwarves at turn 1, so it's up to you what you want to do with it. Now Thranduil's Halls, here is Thranduil, who has his own unique model. Here is Legolas, who also has a unique model. And then this is your regular captain for the Woodland Realm. Here's your regular general. And we've already seen Beorn, but one of the diplomats of Dale is actually Radagast, who starts out alongside Lorien Forest. Here is Celeborn, your regular captain. And of course the regular generals are hidden in Lorien, you can't see them now. Then we're back at Rohan. So I think in terms of name changes on the maps, we have pretty much seen everything. Also the strategy map models, whatever there is to see. Now what I have changed is that Esteldin also gets Northern Dunedain units, so you can recruit them from Esteldin, Fornost, Hills of Rivendell, Anuminas, Weathertop, and Egladil and Bree. So that's a couple of areas more than you could recruit them from previously, and they stick with the roster of Arnor as well, as do most of the Breelandish units. Now there is the Great North-South Road here that allows you to recruit Greenway Guard, I think from Fornost throughout Bree, over to Talion, Tarba, Swanfleet, Dunlarak, Dunyard, Gap of Rohan. Then you go over to the Great East-West Road, Westfold, Edoras, probably also the Hornburg, Altburg, Kallenhart, all the way into Minas Tirith. So I think if you were to own Kallenhart as Arnor or Eriador, you'd be able to train the Greenway Guard units, the infantry and cavalry. Also the Rovanian units for Dale have been expanded upon a little bit, so Rovanos, Scarvarot, Oldonavan, Rovanian Plains. The Gadrots should come from more settlements than previously possible, so you should have a larger recruitment pool for them. And as I've mentioned before, the Dovinian retainers are, I think, recruitable from these three. So you get these awesome axemen with shields on their backs. Now that I may have overlooked something. We can try and find Faramir and Boromir, hit the end turn, we go to Lorien. Oh, and here are actually our, here's Haldir. So that's what they look like. And if we go over it again, we get a little end turn. Doesn't take too long because, as I said, I've cut out most of the script, so end turn should go amazingly fast compared to what you may be used to. Here is Boromir, so let's take him out. He looks like this and comes with Boromir's company as well. Faramir, however, over here, as his rangers, as I mentioned, Faramir's company. Ah, join the jihad. There's no jihad to join. So there is that. You have it. Anything else hidden that I might want to show? Not really, no. Some changes to building icons, but those are very minor. Not worth to go into detail into that to show. So this is what I wanted to show you related to the campaign map. So now I'll head over to custom battle and load up the rosters of Gondor, Eriador, Dale, because they have been changed a little bit. And here we go, back. I should set them to all periods. I don't think it matters much. Now let's head over to Arnor and change fonts to enough. And just to show you, I won't put them all on the battle map, but as you can tell, the hobbits are in here with Arnor. So is the Dunedain swordsmen and the Greenway guards. So the more interesting units of Eriador port over. Although I do not know if unnecessarily the Breland units might actually be in Arnor as well, because what dictates availability in custom battle is just another line in the files, really. And I've not made this nor balanced it for custom or multiplayer battles at all. That was not my purpose. So if we go over to Eriador, we get the hobbits, Woodland Axemen, Breland Sergeants, Arnor Militia, Dismounted Arnor Knights. And this is incorrect, because the Arnor units obviously only become available after you turn into Arnor and not before. So, well, what is interesting, I think I should show you these guys, the Dunedain Swordsmen, because they were not normally available in campaign. Dunedain Wardens are a new introduction, and we have Woodland Hunters, but we've probably all seen them before. Here are Dwarven Travelers from Bree, Dunedain Veterans, the Sylvan Rangers of Amon Sul, Osgiliath Veterans, Lebanon Guardsmen. They might actually be recruitable once you conquer Gondor settlements, but they have not received models from me. This is your Dunedain Ranger. This is a Dunedain Swashbuckler, which is a different unit. There are Breland Mounted Sergeants, which are basically a mounted version of these sergeants, because I love that model with all the the happy flowers on it and so on. Dunedain Protectors are your bodyguard, and the Dunedain Vanguards are pretty much a standard cavalry unit made out of the same type of cavalry. These guys are now Breland Adventurers, fantasizing that some rich and wealthy would go on an adventure and then pack their stuff and head out the door. Grey Company comes with this unit card, and then there's Dunedain Scouts. This is basically a mounted version of your swashbucklers, and this is a mounted version of your regular rangers. Let's just toss them in here. if I can find them. Here they are. I didn't bother giving these units armor upgrades and different models for upgraded armor. These are Dunedain Outriders. Oh, I'm sorry. The Grey Company are a mounted version of the Dunedain Veterans, and the Dunedain Outriders are a mounted version of Dunedain Swashbucklers. So that is nice to see. And we'll load up the battle map and show these models more for their uniqueness to this version of the game. And I remember having different mods installed, going into custom battles in different mods and just checking, seeing which were units that I felt were a nice addition to the roster. So in some cases I've brought back older models from previous versions of mods, as we'll see with Gondor. So here we are. Here are the Dwarven Travelers. Let's see, can I UI options, minimal HUD. There we go. So here are your Dwarven Travelers, recruitable from Bree. And here come the Dunedain Veterans. That look pretty sweet. Back here are the Dunedain Wardens. Back there is your basic swordsman, sword and board that are now available. They used to be counter invasion only, but now they just come from the same regions. Here are the rangers from Amonsul, the Sylvans that join you at a certain point. This is your swashbuckler unit that switches to sword and board after spending all its arrows or engaging in melee, and of course your regular ranger. Now here we have our Grey Company. Looks like this. This is the Outriders that come with shields padded on their back, and this is your Vanguards. So the strongest cavalry you get basically playing as Eriador. Then we still have some mounted units that we didn't see, which are the Breland Mounted Sergeants, which are quite rubbish, but very nice to do some rear charges or chase off routing infantry, or cavalry for that matter, because they are still pretty fast. The Breland Adventurers look very adventurous. So yeah, I like the idea of merchants or rich people going on adventure better than just them being simple merchants that would enlist in an army for no other reason than just enlisting. And here is the Dunedain Scouts. So they are not armored and they have no shields, whereas the other guys that are all the way on the other flank come with shields on their backs and a slight version of mail below their shoulder pads. You can see there's mail there. So they're more robust, but they can take more of arrow fire basically. So these guys you can leave out in front of the enemy and shoot, whilst the other guys you need to really be careful with or they get shot down. And your Vats come with axes once they go into melee, or a Vats is a Grey Company, which is a unit that I put on horse for the taste and flavor. And actually only Aragorn gets them. So even not even I think the Grey Company captains have those units. So that's regarding Eriador. Now we have some units with upgrades in the roster of Dale that I think is nice to show. So there we go. If, for example, you were to upgrade Dalesmen, you will see they follow a pattern of upgrades. They can't go beyond a second level of upgrades. Back, oops, come on. Yeah, they have two upgrades. The Hearth Watchman, they come as in vanilla, then with one upgrade. Hey, then with two upgrades, and that is it. So they basically have the same upgrade pattern as them. Then there's the Dale Swordsman that you can upgrade. The Dwarves of the Oaken Shield come in. Dale Swordmasters, no difference. The skin changes are the Bodyguard for Beorn, unique to him and him only. The Barding Herd come as a vanilla version and an upgraded version. There's some Veil Defenders only recruitable from Beorn's Carrack. Same goes for the Bjornings. They are only recruitable from Beorn's Carrack or as mercenaries in the Veil. Here are your Dorwinian Retainers, by the way. No armor upgrades for them, but for fun purposes we'll show them. Longbowmen have various degrees of upgrades as well. Oh, just 1 degree. Rivermen also come with multiple levels of upgrades. That's it. And let me see, I think Bardian Marksmen do come with an upgraded version as well. And let's leave out some of the vanilla versions that most of you are probably already familiar with, so that we're able to show you upgraded versions of Yeomen. Who else is vanilla? The general Dalesmen with axes. And because I'm not sure, but I think the Dale Cavalry no longer looks like in the picture here once upgraded. But I'm gonna assume the vanilla version is known already. So what else might be interesting to show? That your regular bodyguard unit now looks like this. And they will have 1 hobbit. Yeah, this is the most interesting things, I guess. So let's just load up that battle and take a little look there. Now regarding the high elves, there isn't much to say other than that we have the gold-plated versions. So now here we have the Bardian Marksman. Oh, look, this is the upgraded Dale Swordsman. Now looking like this. Here are your skin changers, looking like this. With Beorn's unique battle model not in here, by the way, because he does come with a bear's head. These are the regular Dale Cavalry, and these are upgraded yeomen, so they have the look of the Bardian Marksman. Kind of have these conquistador kind of look to them, which I thought was... I've always loved this this kind of look for Dale. So whatever gets rid of them, I regret. These are your first upgrade to the Hearth Watchman, and this is Longbowman without upgrades, Longbowman with upgrades. Here come the vanilla Barding Herd, so they look like the Swordsmen, and then these are now your upgraded Barding Herd. Here is Dalesman with a first upgrade, and I believe there is going to be another unit of Dalesmen upgraded. This is your fully upgraded Hearth Watchman. Here are your Dorwinian Retainers. So either a single or double-edged axe with a shield on the back, with a theme that fits with Dale. I often notice that part of these shields were the same as the Dale Swordsman would carry, like these. So I thought, okay, they just need to be in our roster. They already fit the theme. These are your fully upgraded Dalesmen with axes now. So if you have fully upgraded Dalesmen and Swordsmen and Barding Herd, they all look like this, and which I consider to be the more elite tier of units. you have the Herb Watchman and the Riverman and the Longbowman, who will look like this at the final tiers. Now these Bardian Marksmen, Bardian Archers, they have the same kind of armor appearance regardless of their armor level. So upgrade them and they won't change. However, these are now your Royal Archers. They look like Earls, armed with bows, switching to a simple one-handed sword once in melee and no shields. So I think that basically... this is your first upgrade for Yeoman. So they'll come out like this. Some Gambeson and not much else. So that is basically it for the changes to the Delian roster. And then we have a lot of stuff to see with Gondor. So let's exit this one and load up a custom battle with Gondor. All periods, and it's a bit more fun, so we shouldn't run out. And here we go. Now Gondor Levy Swordsman, you may know them from before. What is interesting though, and some people may or may not remember these units, but they the Pelargon Marines have persisted through later mod versions, but these guys were only in very old versions of Third Age mods. But I've always loved this white outfit, so I brought them back into the game. And then there's even a mounted version of them. No clue as to why cave trolls are in here. Southern Line Volunteers. You won't see them in your campaign, I don't think. Now Knights of Gondor come with the winged helmet. We have Riders of Losarnak. Oh yeah, the Pelargia Scouts, which are basically something in line with these guys. Osgiliath Veterans are a very nice unit to show. Winged Swordsmen, dismounted Swan Knights. There, I think most people are quite familiar with them, as well, as you probably know with pikemen. Guards of Osgiliath is a nice one. Minas Ithil Guardians is a nice one. We have ex-guards and ex-men of Losarnak. I'm pretty sure these are in the game. I don't know if these are a leftover from another version. Citadel Guard, Fountain Guard, Losarnak Nobles. Definitely the Lebanon Guardsmen are in there. The Lamroth Marines, I think, is a lovely unit. Rangers and Master Rangers of Italian. Citadel Guard Archers. We're running out of unit space rapidly. Oh yeah, Gondor Cavalry Militia. They come with this brown shield look, and I think we should give that an inspection, a close watch once we are on the battle map. And I think our regular swordsmen also, without upgrades, come with the brownish armor. And this is our higher tier infantry. What can I perhaps leave out here? I think everyone is familiar with the Fountain Guard, so let's drop them in favor of what was I going to show? Oh yeah, an upgraded version of the Gondor infantry. There you go. So you get some hobbits, and here we go. Now I must admit, I haven't played Gondor since 2016, so this is going by memory. And someone requested actually in one of the comments on the series that I was doing that I make an overview of what the mod features are in this case. So here they are, and this is why. Here is some upgraded Levy swordsmen. They come with breastplates, and here are the Gondor cavalry militia. As I said, they have the brownish leathery look for the most part, or they are simply dressed in mail. But the lowest tier doesn't start out in black, it starts out in brown, which is also true for the Levy swordsmen. They have more of a brownish look to them rather than a black one. And this is the heavy infantry unupgraded. So instead of with the breastplates, they come with the black coats. Now here are the winged swordsmen that are just simply awesome in and of themselves. The Marines of the Lamrod with bows. Here are our Pelargi guardsmen. They come with shield and spear. Here are the Master Rangers. So they have mail below their tunics. And here are the veterans. Some of which come with an eye patch, which I think is just awesome. And also the shields on their backs. It's just lovely. They're just only impossible to get. Now here is your Citadel Guard.
Soldiers of Gondor!
Unupgraded. I'm pretty sure they come with breastplates once you upgrade them. The Guards of Osgiliath. Unique for Osgiliath after you've rebuilt it. And similarly, the Minas Ithil Guardians are recruitable from Minas Ithil and Cirith Ungol after you capture it and rebuild it to a certain degree. Not too high. They become available a bit earlier. Now here are our Pelargi archers. So they come in brown and white, and then a bow and quiver. Here is upgraded Citadel Guard archers with the breastplates. Here are the Pelargian Marines with these feathered helmets, which I really do love. And they are of course the Javelin unit. Here we have the Losarnic Nobles. They may actually change once you upgrade them, but there was no room to show everything. Gondor infantry with breastplates upgraded, and here is our Pelargian man-at-arms, sword and board. Here is the Pelargi scouts, so they are javelineers on horseback. Rohan has its equivalent with skirmishers, so this gives Gondor some skirmish cav, because they were quite weak in the cavalry department, so I thought that this would be a nice addition, a mounted version of the Pelargian Marines. Here are the Knights of Gondor with upgrades, so breastplates. So it's basically the standard black and then the silver breastplate as an upgrade.
For the glory of Gondor.
Well, this is pretty much what there is to see in Gondor. Now I might actually take a little look, since we're at it anyway, at the High Elves. To be honest, I don't exactly remember what I did with them. Let's just take a look. Probably not much. There are some units and strategy map models that I felt needed to be in there, but other than that, not too much. But at least you'll see that we have the gold-plated version. Nobles of Midland and Smith of Aragian only available after reforging the Ancient Kingdom. Linden long spears. The rest is Eldarinme. You have some low-tier archers and swords, but that's it. So one step up is the Nordatino warriors and cavalry. And then here's the Imladris riders that Eladon and Elder here come with. This is your Noble's Bodyguard. This is Noldor Guardians, which is unique in Imladris. That I can't show the stats, but I think they're a bit stronger than your Eldarin spares basically. They also do cost a lot more. So, and then of course Midland Nobles are beasts in and of themselves. So these guys have a defense of 33. These guys have a defense of 28. These guys have a defense of 39. Then your Eldarin swords, defense 27. Guards 28. This is sword and board, and this is a two-handed weapon. And that's pretty much it. The Spiss maybe 38, but more of an attack compared to these guys. Not. There's something about the Smiths that they do better effective against armor, and these are not. But they have hammers, so their armor effectiveness would be bludgeoning damage, you would suppose. And for the rest, those are models that pretty much everyone should be familiar with, if you've done any Third Age visits before. So that wraps up the little mod overview. Not everything will be in my campaign with Dale and Eriador, and it's going to be a long while, I think, until I upload another campaign, because I'm mostly covering Divide and Conquer, which I'm perfectly enjoying myself with, and in itself is a much better game, especially in version 2.1, but for the sole reason of being able to control multiple factions, do my roleplay kind of thing, and have fun with the lore that I've reworked into this version. It's going to be up there because I play it anyway, and I want to share my experience at least. So having a YouTube channel, playing this mod that I spent a ton of energy in creating, it would just be a waste not to play it, and once playing it would be a waste not to upload it. And to be honest, I don't have any plans right now to work more on this or to make it publicly available. However, depending on what responses are, if people do like to have this, I should have to go over and ask permission, I guess. I think the DAC team doesn't break a sweat really for the limited amounts of models that I've been using here. But there's also the MOS team. I should just have to go and ask for permissions and give credits. I wouldn't even know who to give credit because I don't know who built what. But anyway, of course, that shouldn't be any issue whatsoever. And then we could make this an upload to Multibi or whatever, so other people can play it should they like that. But that would have to be by popular request, and I'm not gonna put any effort into that in and out of myself. So there's that. This is your mod feature overview of Rule Middle Earth. I hope you have enjoyed it. If so, then do leave a like. Subscribe to my channel if you want to watch the campaign series as well as the Divide and Conquer series. Also playing some Warhammer from time to time still. And I just want to thank you for watching. See you next time.